The Skinner Auto Group in Richfield Springs and Turnbull Insurance Service since 1866 present Mohawk Valley Living, exploring the arts, culture, and heritage of our region. A special good morning and happy 30th anniversary to Arnold and Phyllis Wright.
Good morning and welcome to Mohawk Valley Living. A few weeks ago we traveled to the village of Cherry Valley. Well, this week we are traveling through the actual Cherry Valley, so stay tuned and join us.
Praying in the middle of the bridge, praying in the middle of the bridge, feeling sweet angel kisses on my lips and nose, pine needles dancing on their tippy toes, praying in the middle of the bridge.
Today, starting at 10 a.m., is the Mohawk Valley Bonsai Club's Spring Show. Members will exhibit trees and hold demonstrations and sales. That's the Mohawk Valley Bonsai Club's Spring Show from 10 to 4 today on the Village Green in Clinton. It's time for the Skinner Auto Group road trip. We stop into Skinner Auto in Richfield Springs, where the guys are ready to take you on a tour of their spring crop of new vehicles. This week, we travel south of Route 20 through the scenic Cherry Valley to Roseboom. Much of the hamlet of Roseboom is a designated historic district. It is a highly intact example of a typical New York rural hamlet developed in the 18 and early 1900s. It encompasses 73 buildings, including 2 historic churches.
Roseboom Baptist Church was built in 1844. It's a Greek revival. It's really a gem. In the back of the church is a cemetery where people who were the original settlers are buried, and checking these gravestones, they go back many, many years. Some of the headstones are the early bedboard style, made from marble and shale.
The historic Baptist Church is now owned by the Roseboom Historical Society, and you are invited to the opening meeting today from 4 to 6. There will be music and refreshments and the opportunity to learn more about the history of Roseboom.
I know life is never easy, I've always had it rough. Good things come those who wait, but it's never been good enough. Since you came into my life, you filled my heart with love. Now you want to live without me, and girl, that'd be tough. 'Cause I'll do anything for you. Yes, I'll do anything for you. If you ask me to swim the 7
The other church here in town is also a Greek revival. It's behind me. It was built in 1861, and the bell tower exists until this day. You may want to come down to the services this morning at 10 o'clock to step inside and get a closer look at those beautiful stained glass windows.
And I'll do anything for you. Yes, I'll do anything for you. If you ask me to swim the 7 seas or fight a crack.
The Cherry Valley Creek has been the lifeblood of settlements along its banks, and the fertile land surrounding it has been farmed for generations. In celebration of rural life and the machinery that helped farmers work the land is the annual Roseboom Antique Power Days. And the man behind it is Jack Van Buren, who lives on John Deere Road.
Well, John Deere Road, everybody thinks it's because we have the John Deere tractors here. That's really not true. The next building across the bridge here, and back in the early 1900s, was a John Deere dealership. And so that's why they call it John Deere Road. Kind of a hobby, but we farmed with them when we first moved here, and it just kind of escalated. And 1989, I think we bought the first tractor that we restored, and it's been onward from there. I mean, we've done quite a few of them. We do for other people as well. We do, as you can see from my hat, I'm the John Deere doctor, and we have the tractor show, and well, we like to share that, but it's not basically our fascination with tractors. We like to present the show as a way people lived in the 50s and 60s, and so it's kind of a heritage sort of thing as far as farming, and a lot of people don't understand that. And it's kind of a history past as far as young people are concerned. They don't, but they come to the show and they think, wow, that's pretty neat, or boy, they did it that way? That must have been hard work. But when we did it then, it was just, you know, you did it. You didn't think of it as hard work, so.
Save the date for the 13th annual Roseboom Antique Power Days, August 18th and 19th. There will be hundreds of tractors, plus pancake breakfast, a tractor rodeo, and a parade. Celebrate rural life at the 13th annual Roseboom Antique Power Days, August 18th and 19th. Back in 1945, Skinner Auto began as a small dealership on the corner of routes 20 and 28 in Richfield Springs. Today, Hiram Skinner is proud to have his son Roger at the helm, continuing the tradition of service to the customer and the community. In 1866, James B. Turnbull walked to farms and villages to visit his customers, earning their trust. Today, the fourth generation of Turnbulls continue that dedication, tailoring a life insurance plan to suit your unique needs and priorities. Turn to the company that is out there to earn your trust. Turn to Turnbull. Visit North Star Orchards for your spring planting. Bring in an empty gallon jug today and get it filled with a special formulated plant fertilizer for free. Get a free gallon of special formulated plant fertilizer today only at North Star Orchards in Westmoreland. Tom's Natural Foods is your connection to local farms for natural and organic fruits and vegetables, meats, eggs, cheeses, and other milk products. At Tom's Natural Foods in Clinton, naturally. Why do contractors and do-it-yourselfers shop Lincoln Davies? It's the superior grade lumber, the value for the money, the 140 years and 6 generations of customer service. Since 1872, Lincoln Davies has delivered superior lumber, value, and service, and they're not about to change things now. Celebrating 140 years at the same location, just 10 minutes south of New Hartford on Summit Road between routes 12 and 8. Lincoln Davies, building them like they used to. Chester's greenhouses are bursting with color. You'll find great buys on annuals, perennials, and vegetable plants. Visit Chester's on York Street in Utica, open every day in May. On display at the Arkell Museum, the works of E. Mark Adams and Beth Van Hosen. Adams hailed from Fort Plain, and the couple were well-known masters of their craft. Mother's Day is Family Day with free admission for mothers and grandmothers at the Arkell Museum at Canajoharie. Visit the exhibits at the Oneida Community Mansion House. On display, the braidings of Jessie Catherine Kinsley, the needlework of the Oneida Community Women, and Lady Hamilton tableware. Tour the exhibits and the gardens at the Oneida Community Mansion House in Oneida.
I'm gonna dirty my fingers, paint my toes, stay up all night and watch the lights.
Special thanks to Turnbull Insurance Service and Mark and Jim Turnbull. Their continued support makes the show possible.
I'm gonna eat lots of cherries, I'm gonna see the town, I'm gonna lay in the sun till my
We are at the busy corner in Roseboom at Bob's Country Store, which hasn't changed much in the last 100 years. Here you'll meet people from all walks of life, getting groceries, gasoline, or picking up their mail.
You walk into Bob's Country Store, it's like walking into the past. The squeaky screen door, the wooden floors. Come over here to the deli case, and they have in here one of my favorite things on earth, liverwurst, right there. Except down here it's called Roseboom pate.
Let's see what we can see.
Well, my father, Tom Weeks, his parents owned it, Bob and Dolores Weeks. We're going on 42 years here. And they retired in '94, and my father took it over. He's been here since the age of 16, 17. We have gas, diesel, kerosene, groceries, beverages, beer. We have an awesome deli, wonderful sandwiches, just about anything you can get here. Steaks, pork chops, chicken, a post office is here. You know everybody. and you know everybody's business.
Good or bad?
Both. Good, bad, both.
There was music in the valley. There was music in the air. There was music all around me. There was music everywhere.
One of the many farms that overlook this picturesque valley is Stannard's Maple Farm on Stannard Hill Road. It has been a family operation since Grandfather Palmer purchased the farm in 1890. Today, Warren and Mary Stannard and their daughter Julie carry on the family tradition.
I've grown up here. It's been in the family for 100 years. I take my products to the county fair every year, and I've gotten ribbons for maple cream, maple jelly, maple granulated, and I've gotten blue ribbons and red ribbons. And I've done it for quite a few years.
Call Stannard's Maple Farm to visit their farm store and buy their products. Or purchase them at local stores like Bob's Country Store, Rory's Food Store in Cherry Valley, or Tunnicliff Creamery in Richfield Springs.
From melody and song, from back porch picking to the Stanley stage. If you listen, you can hear.
It's time for lunch, so we ask the locals for directions and are told to head across the flats to Pleasant Brook. The historic Pleasant Brook Hotel is known throughout Roseboom and the Valley for their pizza and is operated by the father and son team of Lynn and Greg Wright.
Not only is there a hotel right here in the middle of Pleasant Brook, it's the Pleasant Brook Hotel. You come here, you'll meet a few of the locals sitting out on the front porch, and then be sure to order their pizza because I'm telling you, it's some of the best pizza I've ever had. I ordered the garbage pizza, and not only did it have everything on here imaginable, peppers, sausage, onions, pepperoni, you name it, it's on here. But beyond that, it also is homemade dough. It's worth taking a ride down here just for this.
It's one of the first licensed premises after Prohibition in New York State, and they didn't license them before Prohibition, so it's been licensed about as long as any place in the state. We make homemade pizza dough from a lady that worked for me in 1982 in Viking Lanes in Dryden, New York, and she taught us how to make it, and it's her grandmother's bread dough recipe and so forth. Yeah, the pizza is one of the big selling things. In other words, it makes people come here. Now, he sells almost as much food here as he does bar business, in other words, which is very rare for a little country bar that doesn't serve dinners. We just have pizzas and wings and cheeseburgers and fries and all that type thing.
Look around, it lets me know I'm home. I'm making this valley my home. I'm so proud to call.
More from the Roseboom area after the break.
Oh, it's not what you take or give, and it's here I want to live. Yes, I'm making this valley my home.
The automobile has gone through many changes through the years, but the Turnbull family's commitment to local drivers has not. Researching and selecting the best coverage for you with unparalleled service, claims handling, and settlement. Turn to a local company with 4 generations of knowledge and experience. Turn to Turnbull. Experience our nation's proud history during the Town of Western Heritage Days. Fireworks Friday night are followed by 2 days of colonial encampments, crafts, games, period music, food, and more. Admission is free to the Town of Western Heritage Days, June 1st through 3rd.
Hi, Dr. Tom. Bringing your cat to the Paris Hill Cat Hospitals on Sundays is a part of Mohawk Valley living. Come inside and see why.
Paris Hill Cat Hospital, this is Lindsay. How can I help you? Your cat is losing weight and you need an appointment, and you're only available on the weekend. Sure, I have an appointment Sunday with Dr. Karen. Does that fit into your schedule? Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you.
We're open 7 days a week because we know that your cat can become ill anytime. The Paris Hill Cat Hospital, quality care for your cats and kittens.
Taste the homemade difference at Maria's Pasta Shop. Homemade lasagna, manigot, stuffed shells, ravioli, and more. Ready-made dinners, make it home, and party trays at Maria's Pasta Shop, Oneida Street in Utica. When you shop Meelan's Market, you'll be the grill master. That's because every hot dog, beef patty, and sausage is made by Bob Meelan himself. Find everything for your next cookout, from store-made meats to fresh salads and tabbouleh, at Meelan's Market at the Four Corners in Clark Mills. For the most unique shopping experience, visit the Little Falls Antique Center and the shops at 25 West. Over 40 local vendors, all under one roof. Antique lovers can spend hours perusing thousands of ever-changing antiques and collectibles. Upstairs at the shops, you'll find something for everyone. Handmade crafts, jewelry and clothing, fine art, food and kitchen gadgets, books, and home furnishings. Shop local at the Little Falls Antique Center and the shops at 25 West. Always worth the drive. At Canal Place in Little Falls. Savor the flavor of authentic Southeast Asian cuisine at the Lotus Garden Noodle and Sushi House. The Pooh family welcomes you to lunch or dinner at the Lotus Garden, 339 Bleecker Street in downtown Utica.
Traveling round the Mohawk Valley.
We're back in Roseboom at beautiful Belvadier Lake. This 25-acre lake has a high rock spillway that creates a beautiful waterfall. If you're enjoying your visit to Roseboom, why not extend your stay? The Belvadier Lake Campground is now open for the season. There are places for tents, campers, or you can rent one of their 2-bedroom cottages that overlook the lake. Visit belvadierlake.com for information.
There's something in you just can't explain. Bring the sun that shines down. Bright colors. You stay the same.
While you're in Roseboom, you can enjoy some fine French cuisine at the Red Hen Cafe. Chef Matthew Herzog invites us to dine, but we'll have to settle for dessert because we have many places yet to visit. But if this is any indication of the fare, we'll surely have to come back. The Red Hen Cafe is open for dinner Wednesday through Sunday. Check out their menu at redhencafe.com. Matthew's wife, Linda, is an artist. She invites us next door to her studio, where she explains how her paintings evolved into collages after moving from the city to the rural countryside. She was inspired by the local people and their heritage.
Primarily through auctions where I would meet local people and talk to them and see all of the artifacts that were coming out of the old farms and seeing their passion for the artifacts that were coming out of the old farms and becoming passionate for the artifacts. And then boxes of letters started falling into my hands at odd lots at the auctions. Letters about ice and snow and fishing through the ice. And then the postcards started telling stories about families, and everyday postcards were going back and forth, and I discovered a whole world of turn-of-the-century postcard communication and how it tied communities and families and people together, even strangers actually, because they were free. You could send a postcard for nothing, and people had registries where they signed up to trade postcards with complete strangers and send them greetings on a daily basis if they felt like it's really wonderful.
Hearts in your hand, leave it to you. You can take it away.
We head further south through the Cherry Valley and head up the eastern hills to Peters Road near Westford. The setting is breathtaking and is exactly the reason why Dave Dutton and Sonia Sola moved here from the city. Nectar Hills Farm is their dream realized. 239 acres of pastures, hayfields, an apple orchard, and springs. They tell us farming is not something you can learn in a day or even a year. After 10 years, they're still figuring it out.
It was difficult though. We did, as much classes as you take, you don't really know what you're doing until you actually get in it. Yeah, I mean, everybody buys these places and says I'm a farmer, right? But it's been 10 or 11 years for us, and I'd say, we're finally getting deep experience, and it's connecting, and it's starting to work. And it's a fascinating thing because, it can be so beautiful, and you can have these great feelings of like I'm saving a piece of Mother Earth, and I'm making great food, and we're doing all these things, and then the next day it can be horrible weather, and everything can go wrong, and it's extremes, yeah. But it is really fulfilling. It's extremely exciting. It's diverse. There's always different tasks. You're always multitasking. There's so many things to do. I'm not a good mechanical machine or carpenter guy, but the animal husbandry, the plant stuff, it's endless. And then marketing, you have to be, constantly reinventing yourself and coming up with new things. We have heirloom organic vegetables in season, apple cider and apple products in season, and then we have meats year-round, lamb, beef, pork. Sometimes we do chicken and turkey. We have honey, yep, not a lot of honey. We have some of our own honey, and we also broker other local beekeepers. I mean, we still love the city, the cultural life down there. We took a lot of classes and studied a lot of different things, and it was great. But this is, I mean, I wouldn't trade it for nothing. This is, yeah.
To learn more about Nectar Hills Farm, visit their website, nectarhillsfarm.com, or visit Sonia in their store on Main Street in Cherry Valley, where they sell their products in season.
Traveling round the Mohawk Valley, we're going on a road trip. Go on along.
Here's what's hot on the lot at Skinner Auto. This just in, a 2010 Jeep Liberty 4x4, only 5,000 miles with factory certified warranty, only $19,995. One of the many great pre-owned vehicles at Skinner Auto in Richfield Springs.
I, R.A. Dudrak, the Window King, invite you to visit our showroom in Holland Patent, or we'll come to your home by appointment. We've been installing replacement windows for over 45 years. Keep your palace cool in the summer and warm in the winter by adding new windows. Many styles and selections to choose from. Bay, bow, garden, and double hung, single hung, and slider windows. The Window King also introduces color replacement windows. So take a short drive to R.A. Dudrak, Holland Patent, and tell them the Window King sent you.
On display at the Arkell Museum, the works of E. Mark Adams and Beth Van Hosen. Adams hailed from Fort Plain, and the couple were well-known masters of their craft. See the works of Adams and Van Hosen at the Arkell Museum at Canajoharie, Thruway Exit 29. Call Yannick Excavating for all your residential and commercial projects, from new construction and land clearing to septic systems, driveways, basements, ponds, and topsoil. Visit yannickexcavating.com. Spring style begins at the Village Crossing. Discover unique women's attire, jewelry, handbags, and accessories designed to delight. The Village Crossing on the Village Green in Clinton. Shop Shelter for handmade Adirondack furniture designed by craftsman Jim Kiefer. He works with you to create custom pieces to your specifications, from dining room and coffee tables to bookcases, beds, and bunks. Call or visit Shelter on Main Street in Old Forge. Enjoy a delicious pot of fine flavored varietal and herbal teas at the Tea Bar at Trenton Teas, or arrange an afternoon tea in the tea room. Visit TrentonTeas.com to learn about upcoming events or to arrange your own event at Trenton Teas on Elizabeth Street in Utica. The Longaretta Law Firm, protecting your rights and advising you in matters of legal importance. Call for your free consultation, 735-6162. Expecting company? Just call Deansboro Superette. They prepare delicious Middle Eastern platters for any number of guests. Call 841-4377.
I can't stand it when you're not around. I don't know quite what to do with myself. So if you have to leave me tonight, now, baby, just don't come at all. When you're gone, you know just what I'll do. I'll cry the whole night through.
This afternoon at 2 o'clock is Spotlight, the Choreographers Showcase. It will feature performances of different dance styles by the many great choreographers in the area. That's the Choreographers Showcase from 2 to 4 today at the Jewish Community Center on Oneida Street in Utica. On our way home from the Cherry Valley, we stop in Cooperstown to the Fenimore Museum, where they're preparing for a big event next weekend. The Iroquois Cultural Festival will complement the museum's collection of American Indian art. The two-day event will be held behind the museum near the Native American Log House and Bark House on the shores of Otsego Lake.
Yes, we're having an Iroquois Cultural Festival, and we're inviting Iroquois people from throughout the Northeast, from as far north as Canada and from all around upstate New York. And they'll be coming to demonstrate crafts like wampum making, beadwork, making cradle boards, quilting, all kinds of traditional activities. Well, we have a major collection of Native American art, and we've wanted to localize it to make it make direct connections to Iroquois people. So we've gotten a grant to bring in crafters actually throughout the season. This is a kickoff to that, where we'll be having noted craftspeople come from throughout North America really to demonstrate their crafts here at Fenimore Art Museum. Well, we have the The Mohawk Bark House, which is a reproduction of a late 18th century bark structure that several families would live in right on Utica Lake. And then we have a historic structure, the Seneca Log House, which was brought here to the museum from Rochester, New York. And that represents a slightly different time period. It's the 19th century. So you can see 100 years of Iroquois history in one fell swoop, as well as see demonstrations on a daily basis. On Memorial Day weekend, we're going to have storytellers. So it's a whole bunch of things for folks to do.
Make the Iroquois Cultural Festival part of your Memorial Day weekend. The two-day event begins Saturday, May 26 at 10 a.m. and there's a concert that evening by Joanne Shenandoah at 7 p.m. Tickets to the festival and to the Joanne Shenandoah concert are available in advance online or at the museum. The Water's Edge Inn in Old Forge presents MV Clubs and Hobbies. For over 40 years, the Mohawk Valley Firebirds have been flying out of the Frankfurt Highland Airport. This model aviation club attracts enthusiasts from all over the area, bound together by their love of flying radio-controlled aircraft.
Well, it's just the sharing common interest in the laughing in between flights that's a lot of fun. And then you kind of need a facility like this to fly the bigger airplanes. More recently in the hobby, though, they've been coming out with a lot of these what they call park flyers, and you can pretty much fly those anywhere in a park, a schoolyard, in your backyard if you got a little room and that kind of thing. But generally, guys that have those bring them up here, and you fly them up here too. You know, we have a number of instructors here at the field, and Tuesday night is trainer night. So anybody that really wanted to learn can come up here. Anybody at this club would help them out. Get them started right from making a recommendation on what airplane to buy first, and help them with some flight lessons so that they can be successful and they don't run into crashing airplanes early and getting discouraged. So it's a very constructive use of your time, I think, and there's just lots and lots and lots to learn, particularly for kids that might be interested in aviation or engineering or anything like that. It's very technical. These radios they're computers, so you have to get into computer programming. You have to understand how engines are running and why they're running the way they are, and how to fix them. So there's quite a bit of that going on, and then just the stuff with the airframes and understanding aerodynamics and how to trim your airplane for level flight, and when it doesn't behave the way you want it to, what adjustments do you need to make to it to get it to fly right. And so, you really can spend a lot of time on it, and just great fun, great fun.
Come on out for the MV Firebirds training nights on Tuesday evenings. The field is located on Gulf Road off of Albany Road on Frankfurt Hill. You can visit mvfirebirds.com to find out about their upcoming events and air show in August.
We hope that you enjoyed today's show and that you will find the time to come down here yourself to enjoy this beautiful valley. We hope that you will join us next week on Memorial Day weekend, and between now and then, enjoy Mohawk Valley living.